Hi Lee Forest, welcome back to Mrs Hudson's Kitchen. I hope you're all okay and that you're having a great week. Today we're going to be cooking some butter cookies. Now these are really delicious, but they are a sweet treat. They don't fall in line with my healthy cooking at all. So they are a treat for you to end our cooking series this half term. So the ingredients you will need are 175 grams of flour. Now it doesn't matter if you use self-raising or plain. I've got self-raising, but as I say, it doesn't matter. You need 50 grams of icing sugar. You need 175 grams of butter or margarine. I always use stalk for mine, but if you want to use a lower fat version, then that's fine because it'll make them slightly more healthy for you. And you need just a small dash of vanilla essence. So those are your ingredients. There's not very many ingredients. So first thing you need to do whenever you start cooking is wash your hands. Make sure you wash them in antibacterial soap and running water. So wash them for at least 20 seconds to make sure they're nice and clean. Make sure your work surfaces are clean, and again, wipe them down with an antibacterial spray. So get an adult to help you with that. So should we get baking? Here we go. The first thing you need to do is weigh out your 175 grams of butter. So I've already done that, and then I'm going to tip that into my bowl. There we go. Then you need your icing sugar. So this is in place of normal sugar, and it makes the biscuits a little bit more crumbly. And you're going to tip in your 50 grams of icing sugar. Oh, can you see the icing sugar cloud? It makes like a cloud of icing sugar around. Woo. And then if you have got an electric whisk, you can whisk that up together. If you haven't got an electric whisk, it doesn't matter because you can whip it all up by hand, but you need to make sure that it goes light and creamy. So let me get going with this whisk. So remember, it's noisy. Now when you're whisking butter and icing sugar together, start slowly because the icing sugar does make a big mess. So here we go. I'm going to squash the butter and the sugar down together to start with so it doesn't make too much mess. Here we go. Turn it up a bit now. There we go. So you want this mixture to be nice and creamy. It won't take very long. That didn't take very long, did it? So the mixture needs to look nice and creamy, if you couldn't hear me while I was whisking. So it looks quite pale now, doesn't it? And all fluffy. So that's the first step. So whisk your butter and your icing sugar together. The next thing we need to do is just pop in a small drop of vanilla essence. And what I always do is I just measure it out into the lid. So I just put a tiny little bit in. Probably can't even see it. Tiny little bit. You don't want it to be too strong because it can be a bit overpowering if you put too much in. And then when you've put that into your bowl, just give it a little mix in with a spoon. There we go, that's all you need to do. And at the same time you can just clean your sides down a little bit, get all the mixture into the middle. And the last thing to do is to stir in your flour. Now you do that by hand, you don't do that with the whisk, and that helps keep the mixture nice and fluffy. So let me grab my flour, and I'm just going to do it a few shakes at a time. I'm not going to do all of it in one go because it makes it harder to stir in if you put all of it in. So I've just sprinkled a little bit on. And then you can just stir it in. You don't need to be too careful with this. It's not like you have to fold it in. Just make sure you incorporate all of that flour into the mixture. And it will start to make a sort of thicker dough. still quite runny at the moment, still quite sloppy. Okay, so we should pop a bit more in. You don't need to sieve the flour or anything, you can just go for it. It's a very, very easy recipe. I haven't told you my surprise ingredient yet, have I? You have to wait another couple of minutes to find out until all this flour's gone in. I wonder if you can guess. What do you think Mrs. Hudson's going to put in her cookies today? Something you probably wouldn't normally think of. I'm just going to tip the rest of that in now and get that stirred in. Oh, I just lost some out the bowl. Can you see how it's getting much thicker? It's making my arm ache a little bit. It's getting quite thick. But it needs to be thick so you can then roll it into cookie balls, to little dough balls. There we go. I think that's about done. There we go. I think that is about done. So let me just pop that down for a minute. I can show you properly. There we go. It is still very, very sticky, but that's okay. So you end up with a mixture that looks a little bit like that. It's a little bit thicker than a cake mixture, but it's still quite sloppy. Now my surprise ingredient today is this. You know what these are? They're cornflakes. And this is a really satisfying job. You'll really enjoy doing this. So pop yourself a few cornflakes into a tub or a bowl. And then I'm just going to put my camera down so you can see what I'm doing. So get your hands in there and just crush them. You don't want them too crushed or they'll come making a big mess. But it doesn't matter. That's what cooking's all about. So crush your cornflakes. Not into just a powder, but just so they're not as big as a whole cornflake. You want them a little bit crushed. They are going everywhere. But oh, it feels lovely. There we go. And then you're going to coat your biscuits in these cornflakes so they have a lovely crunch at the end. So I think that'll do. So let me see if I can show you. There we go. So they're broken down a little bit, but they're not into a powder. You still want them nice and crunchy. Then what you're going to do is get yourself a spoon. You're going to do about that much mixture, okay? So it's not a whole spoon. And then this is the messy bit. So you're going to roll it into a little ball. Look at my hands. Oh! And then you're going to pop them in the cornflakes. Whoa! And you end up with a cornflake coated cookie. And then you're going to pop those onto a baking tray. My baking tray's at the side, so I'll show you them when they're all on there. So get your spoon again. This is a messy job, so I hope you don't mind getting your hands dirty. Roll them quite gently. It doesn't matter if they're not perfect. Look at that, that doesn't look perfect, does it? But by the time I put it in my cornflakes and squash my cornflakes around it, there we go, look. Perfect, that's number 2. Spread them out a little bit on your tray because you don't want them all spreading into each other. I don't think they spread too much. It's been a while since I've made these. So roll your dough into your cornflakes. Just squash them down. They don't have to be perfectly round. Mine aren't perfectly round. There we go. Here we go, this is number 4. So roll them. Oh, look at my hands. I hope you like getting messy. There we go. Now, if you've got any cherries at home, any of the glacé cherries, they'd be lovely on the top. I haven't got any at home at the moment. I forgot to order them with my shopping, but you can put some cherries on the top, or you can pop maybe some chocolate chips in. But I think they'd be delicious with a cherry on the top. So that's number 5. I don't know how many this is going to make, so we'll keep going. My hands are getting even more sticky. If your hands get too sticky, then just give them a wash and start again. But as I say, remember, they don't need to be perfectly round. But as you pop them into the cornflakes, they get less sticky anyway, because the cornflakes soak up that moisture. All right, so I'm going to clean my hands, and I'll come back and we'll do some more in a minute. So give me a second. Here we go. That's better. I'm running out of cornflakes as well, so I'll have to get some more cornflakes. So I've still got quite a lot of mixture left there, look. Okay, so we'll do the next one. And then just keep going until you've used up all of your delicious cookie mixture. Now with a lot of cookies, you have to put them in the fridge to make the dough hard enough and not so sticky. But this one is a really quick recipe, you can just go for it. I am running out of cornflakes. There's enough there for another couple. There we go. There's another one. I'm running out of space on my tray as well. I think I'll probably be able to make another 3 or 4. So roll, pat it down a little bit and into your cornflakes. There we go. Brilliant. That one's more square. As I say, it doesn't matter. And then onto your tray. I think I forgot to say, when you put them on your tray, you need to make sure your tray is greased. I've run out of space on my tray, so I'm going to go and get another tray. But in the meantime, you carry on making your delicious cookies, and I'll see you in a minute. Well, welcome back. Here we go. Mine are ready to go in the oven now. I've made 12 cookies. They're actually quite big, aren't they? If you wanted to make them a bit smaller, then that's absolutely fine. You can do them a bit smaller. These need to go in an oven to 170 degrees C for 20 minutes. Now you do need to make sure you warm your oven up before they go in. So make sure it's at 170 degrees C before you put them in. They bake for 20 minutes. And as I say, if you wanted to put a cherry on the top, just cut the cherry in half and then just pop it in the middle of your cookie. And they would be absolutely beautiful. So let's get these in the oven and see how they come out, shall we? See you back in a minute. Welcome back. Have your cookies finished cooking? Mine have, and they smell beautiful. I can't wait to tuck in. But remember, they are a sweet treat, so they are a treat, not something you should be eating every day and in large quantities. So let me show you what I have baked. They look delicious. Look at those. Whoa. Now these will need a few moments to cool down before you eat them, because they'll need time to harden up. So what you need to do is take them off the tray, get an adult to help you because the tray will be hot at the moment. So take them off the tray and pop them onto a cooling rack if you've got one. Don't worry if you haven't, you could use the grill pan out of your grill. That will help cool them down. You just need to get some air underneath them to cool them down and to harden them up. But let me show you what one of mine looks like. Here we go. Whoa, wouldn't they look amazing with the cherry on the top as well? I wish I had some cherries. Never mind. So cool them down and then they'll go a little bit harder, or it's started to go a little bit harder already, and they'll have a nice crunch on the outside and they'll be a little bit soft in the middle. So I hope you enjoy your cookies, and remember, they are a treat. I hope you've enjoyed our show today and that you have lots of fun making these cookies and that your hands don't get too messy like mine did. And I've enjoyed cooking with you today, and all the different episodes that we've done, I've really enjoyed it. This is the last one in this series, so well done for all your bakes, and thank you for sending me so many photos of your amazing bakes over the weeks that we've been in lockdown. So hopefully we'll be able to cook in school very soon, and I'll be back showing you lots of lovely healthy recipes. Take care now everyone, and I'll see you in school very soon. Bye.